It looks like a dream on TV. Big ideas, rich investors, life-changing deals. But behind the scenes, Shark Tank isn't as shiny as it seems. Some deals fall apart. Some entrepreneurs are left worse off than before. And the sharks are not always as friendly as they appear. What happens after the cameras stop rolling? And why are some founders speaking out now? This is the dark side of Shark Tank. And once you see it, you'll never watch the show the same way again. Most people think Shark Tank is a fun show where business ideas either get big money or go home empty-handed. But there's way more happening behind those bright studio lights. Watching someone pitch an idea and score a big investment in just a few minutes is exciting. But the truth is, what you see on TV isn't always the full picture. For one, many deals that look amazing on camera don't even happen once the cameras stop rolling. People celebrate and shake hands, thinking their lives are about to change, but later, the terms change or the deal falls apart. One common reason? The investors want more ownership or make different demands after the show. That leaves the entrepreneur stuck with nothing or forced to give away more than they planned. And it gets worse. In some cases, these deals have hurt people's lives. One entrepreneur named Shelly appeared on the show hoping to grow her towel business. A shark liked her, said all the right things, and even handed her a check on the spot. But behind the scenes, that check didn't lead to what she expected. The deal changed, more equity was demanded, and when she couldn't accept the new terms, her business slowly collapsed. So, while it looked like a happy ending on TV, it marked the start of a nightmare. This sort of thing isn't rare. Another entrepreneur, a former football player named Al Baker, went on the show with a food business. He got a deal too, but later said it nearly destroyed everything. The investor changed the agreement after the cameras stopped rolling, cutting the money and taking more ownership than agreed. Things kept going downhill. He lost control of parts of his business, didn't get financial reports, and eventually, his business account was drained with no clear explanation. And that's not even the end of his story. It's shocking to think that a show about helping small businesses grow could leave people worse off than before. But that's the reality for some contestants who trusted the process and ended up with regrets. While the show presents itself as a launching pad for dreamers, behind the scenes, some people have felt used or misled. This pattern raises the question, are the sharks really there to help, or are they just chasing profits no matter who gets hurt? And it's not only the small businesses getting burned, even the sharks themselves have fallen for fake products. One of the biggest examples of the sharks getting fooled was a product called the breathometer. It was a small device you could plug into your phone to check your blood alcohol level. On the show, it sounded like a genius idea. All 5 sharks invested in it, something that almost never happens. They were excited, thinking it would help people make safer choices about drinking and driving. However, once the product reached customers, the problems started. The device often gave wrong readings. The app didn't work well, and in some cases, people couldn't even get it to connect. This wasn't just a tech issue, it was dangerous. If someone was over the legal limit but got a low number from the device, they might think they were safe to drive. That could lead to serious accidents. Yet the sharks had already put their money and faces behind it. Instead of fixing the problems, the founder of the company seemed more focused on living a flashy life. He was constantly traveling, posting photos from vacations, parties, and expensive events. Meanwhile, the product kept failing, and the customers were stuck with something that didn't do what it promised. Eventually, the government stepped in, and the company was forced to give refunds. But the damage was done. Now, you might think this would be a wake-up call for the show, a chance to be more careful in the future, but that's not really what happened. In fact, some sharks kept making questionable choices. One shark, Damon John, started promoting a stock tips website that many people believed was a scam. Another, Kevin O'Leary, began selling shoutouts online. He would record a quick video supporting your brand for a fee, even if he didn't know what it was. There's nothing illegal about this, but it does make you wonder, if these sharks are supposed to be business experts, why are they backing so many weak or shady products? It's not just what happens after the deal either. Even on the show, there are moments that don't sit right. There have been times when entrepreneurs were laughed at, talked down to, or dismissed in ways that felt more personal than professional. Some ideas were mocked that later went on to become huge successes, like Ring, the smart doorbell. The sharks didn't see the value, but later, Amazon bought the company for $1 billion. Stories like that make you wonder how many great ideas the show missed. Maybe the pressure of being on TV makes the sharks focus more on entertaining the audience than truly judging the business, or perhaps they're just like everyone else, capable of big mistakes even with all their money and experience. But these mistakes don't just cost money, they can ruin businesses, stress out families, and destroy dreams. And still, the show keeps going episode after episode, because no matter what happens off camera or on screen, it's all smiles, handshakes, and hopeful music. But behind that, there's more going on than most viewers ever see. Even worse, some people who get deals later find out that the sharks weren't trying to help them at all. In some cases, the sharks changed the deal after filming, asked for more control, or didn't put in the money they promised. One woman said she was offered $75,000 on the show, but later the shark wanted more of her company than they had agreed. She refused, and her business fell apart after that. It's also clear that Shark Tank isn't really about helping small business owners anymore. More and more, the show is featuring people who already have big connections or money. At one point, a millionaire's son and his famous mother came on the show to pitch a business. They already had plenty of resources, so why were they there instead of someone who truly needed the chance? That's the problem. The show makes it look like it's about helping regular people, but many of the deals go to those who already have a head start. It's becoming less about finding the next big idea and more about making a good episode for TV. Even though some people still love the show, these behind-the-scenes stories change how we view it. It's not just about clever business plans or dramatic negotiations, it's about who really benefits in the end. Sometimes it's not the person with the big dream, but the person with the power. And even when bad things happen, the show doesn't talk about them. The struggles, lawsuits, and people who lost everything are rarely mentioned again. Everything moves on as if nothing happened. But the damage to those entrepreneurs is real. Their stories deserve to be heard, not buried under a shiny pitch and a catchy jingle.